Hi, I'm Dr. Rob Jackson, Superintendent of the Buncombe County Schools system. Here in Western North Carolina, we have been tremendously impacted by all of the trauma and loss that is the aftermath of the passing of Hurricane Helene through our area. Our hearts have broken countless times as we consider the loss of lives, the loss of homes, the loss of the sense of security. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, though, we've seen our friends and neighbors, community members from across Buncombe County and beyond begin to respond in a big way to the needs around them. We're so very grateful for all who have reached out to ask, what can I do for you? How can I help? Who've offered water and food and provisions, who've given opportunities for folks to have a safe place to stay. In our school system, we've been honored to be a part of that. All 45 of our campuses have been hosting opportunities to help build back our community. Things like sleep sites for law enforcement or the power company. Things like distribution sites for the county and the city of Asheville, for faith-based partners who've come on our campuses to also give provisions to our community. We've had members of our transportation team who were driving buses to help evacuate our friends and neighbors, but they've also continued to drive those buses as part of the shelter operations, helping those who are having to stay in the shelters get to medical appointments. We've seen our maintenance department out helping create access to our campuses so that we were able to get onto our campuses to assess how they did through the storm. Our child nutrition department has been just incredible in emptying our freezers and coolers at the outset to give those provisions to our neighbors in need, but throughout and trying to provide meals as they have been a part of the solution. Today on our campuses, we're working hard to get our schools open as quickly as possible. We know that our students need to be in school. They miss the support and the structure. They miss their teachers and the incredible educators and staff members throughout the building. They miss their classmates and friends. And so we're looking forward to being back together as soon as we possibly can. We've been working hard towards that end, reaching out to the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Public Instruction, the environmental agencies at the state level to ensure that we could safely open our buildings. As of today, 32 of our schools do not have access to water. We're working a solution to be able to open our schools so that we do not have to wait for the water system repairs to get back in school. We went through lots and lots of scenarios, tried to be as creative as possible in how we would make something work that, quite frankly, in the past we would have never thought about. And as we've worked through that, we determined that we needed to bring in restroom trailers to provide the facilities and the hand washing stations so that we could get back in school. We've been working with our fire marshal because when there's no water, we don't have sprinkler systems. And so there's a process for a fire watch. Again, to make sure we get back in our school as soon as we possibly can. One of our big priorities, though, was ensuring that we were ready to support our students and staff as they return. And so school systems across our state, as they've reached out to say, how can you help? We've worked with them to identify school counselors and school social workers from outside the impacted area who are going to be here when we come back to school to be someone that our students and staff members can sit down and talk with if they would like to. We will be prepared to support our students in the first few days back and throughout the school year as we always have. We started this school year with the theme, Together We Rise. In the midst of all that we have seen, this tragedy, this challenge, we've seen how true that is. That in tragedy, in challenge, neighbors with neighbors, family with family, friends with friends, school system with community partners. Together we rise.